All right. Hello there, everyone. Hello there, VV Nation. Welcome to this very special presentation. This is going to be an event that I'm sure you're going to be glad that you did not miss, or this upcoming event is one that you certainly do not want to miss. Heck, bring a friend, watch the live stream, watch it with them, help change lives for the better. I mean, that's what business we're in here at VectorVest is changing people's lives, in particular their financial livelihoods, right? So the question becomes, why go? Why invite your neighbor? Why invite your friends? Why bring family members? Why go to the event at all, even for yourself? Well, why you should go, or any of your friends, family should consider going. It's quite simply to better you or their financial future. Whether that be put the kids through school or retire more comfortably, whatever that case might be for you or them as a particular individual. And so for many of us who have obviously gone before, what we wanted to do is learn how to outperform average ordinary market returns. I mean, we wanted to learn how to maximize things, how to do better than average so that we can live and retire comfortably on our own terms. And so we wanted to seek out performance like this. You know, we wanted to learn how to not just make those average returns, but beat the pants off the stock market so that we can sleep better at night, so that we can know that we're following a proven system, so that we can realize that, while past performance is certainly no guarantee of future performance, if you make money year after year after year after year with a particular system, it's probably going to work for the next couple of years to come, don't you think? So the whole idea here is to avoid the big problem, and the big problem really is a couple things. One, so these days like no other before it, we're just getting inundated with data. And so if we're not careful, whether it be through all the investment newsletters that we subscribe to by email, all the social media posts that we're trying to track and follow, all the new web-based forums, TV, financial networks, whatever the case might be, before long we just get overloaded. And we don't know how to separate useful information from all of that inundation of the blizzard of data coming at us every single day. And so one of the big things is finding value in complication as well. It's just human nature. We feel like if we see something that's super intricate, it's got to be really well thought out. And even though it might be difficult to do and follow, that it's probably in our best interest to try to figure that out, learn it, because that's the way to make money in the stock market. The reality is, at least for me, over my 25 years, is that I find it completely the opposite. And that is that simplicity is what traditionally wins for me. And I think for many of you, as you see what we have to offer here, what we're going to be offering is very simple, proven plans that make money in the stock market. Then it's just a matter of deciding who you are and what's going to best fit you as a particular individual. That way we can fix it, and we can follow these proven simple systems. And then it's really our ability to stick to it that's going to matter the most. And so we're also going to be talking about environments that you can get yourself involved with that will make sticking to these plans as easy as it possibly can be made. So there's no better place to learn than through the experts themselves. So fortunately for everybody who's considering attending this event, not only will you learn from the presenters, and obviously we've been doing things and doing it well for a long time now. One of the advantages of going to the live event is the ability to kind of rub elbows, rub shoulders, if you will, with some of what I would call our power users, people who have been on the streets just like you, and they've been using VectorVest, some of them more than 20 years, are going to be at that event. So whatever the case may be for you, but let's talk a little bit about it. So one of the big systems that we're going to be talking about at the show is called a successful investor. And the successful investor is about grassroots VectorVest. It's about taking the core philosophies and the core information and making money with it. And it's the simplest, easiest, fastest way to get up to speed to make 15% a year or so on a year in, year out basis. And so that's the objective. And it's really, VectorVest can't be made any simpler than the successful investor. It really is dynamite. It's a great place to start kind of for everyone. If you have zero experience with VectorVest, for example, Successful Investor, I think is the best place to get going. And then, as you get a little bit of knowledge under your belt, then you can start deciding to go other directions, because this part is really what separates VectorVest from everyone else. And then as we get into the other disciplines, it's kind of taking it to that next level. I sort of hate that terminology, but it really is kind of true here, where we're going to elevate it a little bit with some more, I don't want to say sophistication, but some more levels of determining what's best to kind of ramp things up a little bit. So when we get to retirement services, it's not just about picking the right stocks and, good, safe stocks rising in price. It's also about then creating enough income. So we're going to look for the kinds of stocks that still fit that bill, but that also pay a reasonable dividend and one that's growing, and have the ability to also generate even more income through options. Because dividend income these days, you're lucky if you can get a really solid dividend that's 3 or 4%. It's kind of unfortunate to some degree, but by use of options, you can really begin to generate as much money as you need. And so it's a 3-prong approach that we teach. We teach the capital appreciation side still, but in addition, how to generate income on top of that in a couple of different ways. When we get to swing trading, this is going to be your ability to kind of kick things up to where you can go 30, 40% a year, year on year. And it's been a lot of fun for Jerry and I to teach this part of the business these days. It was really fun for us to kind of, it's not a competition, but we're running 2 independent real dollar portfolios for VectorVest, and we came within 1% of one another last year, doing the same kinds of trades. So we're going to be sharing a couple of techniques that Jerry and I used last year, in which case both of us finished just shy of 40% by year's end. And it's dynamite. So you're going to learn a couple of those techniques while you're there. If you're interested in, I would say more of a swing trading kind of, I don't want to say aggressive even, more of a aggressively prudent way, to make money in the stock market. Very reliable. Or as another possibility, and also kind of think of it this way, there's going to be users who have been with us for a long time. They're going to be deploying several of these methodologies at the same time. Is another possible solution. So you can have a core selection of your capital in Successful Investor, and take a much smaller denomination, if you will, a smaller slice, and put it into something like swing trading or this ETF kind of performance, where you can really ramp things up, particularly when you start using leverage. So we're going to be showing some of the new evolution that's coming down the pipe with ETFs. ETFs are exploding. It's unbelievable, the leaps and bounds by which the number of ETFs that are coming to the market and the speed at which they're coming is remarkable. So we're going to be talking a lot about ETFs. We're going to show how to use some practical trading systems that deploy no leverage whatsoever. And then we're also going to talk about upping the leverage and creating even more potential profitability by doing that. And it's a give and a take. So when you up the profit potential, you've also going to have deeper drawdowns and have to live through that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about the pluses and minuses and show 3 really dynamic ETF trading systems while you're at this show. In addition to that, some of us just love charts. For me, that's a passion. And Stan Heller's got a great system he put together called the Near Perfect Indicator. He's going to be dialing in from Canada and doing his presentation again from up there. But it's going to be awesome. Obviously, there's always new content, new things to talk about, and Stan's going to share some of those latest developments with each of us, which will be great. But it's a dynamic charting package. It's really good, and it's not super active, so it's good for folks that don't want to be as active but still leverage the advantages of charts. In addition to that, Mr. Ron Wheeler is going to be with us, and also Todd, if I failed to mention that earlier, for Successful Investor. But Mr. Ron will be detailing a particular technique using options, where it's just one trade, one symbol, one way to do it to generate enough income in a year to suit all your needs that that you might seek out. So that's going to be awesome. And so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to kind of high level overview the whole course. I wanted to give you a sampling of all the different performances that you're going to see while you're at the show. It's going to span anywhere from 15% a year to north of 40, and beyond, well beyond, depending on the leveraged ETF one. So just a matter of which ones you want to seek out, which ones are going to fit you best. But here's a full course description, if you will. We're going to be doing this next week. It's going to be February 21st. It is going to be broadcast. So we'll have the live that you can sign up and attend. There's only 5 seats left. I didn't check between webcasts. That was the case this morning. There could be just a couple left at this stage. Not real sure. So bottom line, if you're interested in going live still at this time, I would do it as soon as humanly possible. It could, in fact, be sold out. I haven't been told that as of yet, but it certainly could, because there was 5 this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern New York City time. Now, when I look at what the course is going to be, all the course titles and offerings and things, the morning of day 1, I'm just going to kind of I'm just going to give you an overview of sections, not each individual talk. The morning of day 1, that section is going to be all about successful investor. So there's a lot of creative titling here. There's new and novel ways to present that information, but it's all about successful investor. It's about grassroots VectorVest, our core beliefs. It's about market timing and buying safe, undervalued stocks rising in price at the right time. Is really what it's all about. When we get into the afternoon of day 1, it gets a little bit more specialized. So we start to get into retirement services. We start to get into this idea of catering VectorVest to you as an individual, so that you're maximizing your experience with the product. When we get into the morning of day 2, even more specialized. Now we're getting into the ETF systems that we can deploy using VectorVest. We're getting into more of a trading environment with options and charting setups and packages. Okay. And so at the very end, then it's our job to say, hey, we've learned a lot of really great stuff here. How do I hit the ground running Monday, when this event is over? So that's the course. My job here is not to teach the techniques. My job here is just to hopefully you've seen some jaw-dropping performances. And we're ahead of schedule in swing trading this year. I can at least share with you that much. I mean, my swing trading portfolio so far this year is north of 15% real dollars through brokerage live in front of customers. We're 5 weeks into the year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to show, and a lot you can learn. I'll promise you that. So old Abe Lincoln once said this: give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. So I'm going to give you a better trade-off. Although it's the meaning behind what he's saying there that really matters. It's the being prepared to succeed, right? But the trade-off is better here. Spend 2 days for the rest of your life. That's a lot less work given the context, right? So 2 days for the rest of your life is a much better value proposition than 4 hours for 2. So, I hope you see value in that. I hope that you're going to join us. And I'll share just a couple of quick things aside from the terrific price that doesn't even probably cover the food and beverage costs for the event per person. If you decide to go live, the $95 is literally just, we know if you pay the $95, you're going to show up. We can get an accurate count. We can get the hotel prepared. They can be ready to serve you and all that fun stuff. Okay. So it's $95 to go for the 2 days, and you get fed like a king or a queen. And so again, it's not even going to cover that cost. Now, in addition to that, some folks might say, well, I've been with VectorVest a number of years. Am I going to get anything out of this? Well, I mean, if that's you, yes, you will. So I'll give you some advice or some response to that question when I asked subscribers that question myself. One time I said, gee whiz, I'll just do first names. David, why, I've seen you here 6 years in a row, man. How can I help you? He says, oh, Steve, I'm good. I came for 2 reasons. He says, I came to recharge my batteries, Okay, I get fired up again because this event has a way of doing that, getting me re-inspired to have as good a year again this year as I had last, or maybe even do better, right? And then number 2, I always learn something. There's always something here that makes it worth coming. And I think that's right on the button. I think that's the best. I'm glad I had those conversations because that's the reality. I'm the teacher, so that's a different perspective. But that's from the students, okay? Let's charge those batteries up. Let's get you ready to roll make the best out of 2026. And let's make sure you learn the techniques and get the training you need to make that a reality. That's what this event is about. Now you can go live and in person for $95, or you can go free of charge on the stream. So even if you're out in the south of France, the Caribbean, hopefully not the Bering Sea or anywhere cold these days, but no matter where you are in the world, you have the opportunity to take advantage of this event while it's being streamed. Also, if you go live and in person, you get a recording of the event as part of that deal. The other thing is, if you are free on the stream and you renew an annual subscription, I believe you also get 1-year access to the recordings that way as well. So that way, you have ample time over the course of the year to review things. If you ever want to go back and recheck, make sure that you're doing things right, that kind of thing. So it's going to be a great couple of days. It's definitely well worth your time. This will be the 23rd time that I have taught this event, and I have never had anyone, and I mean anyone, dissatisfied with this event. Could there be some times where people have suggestions on how to get better? Sure. But nobody's ever been dissatisfied. Ever. And I mean ever. Nor will they ever be. All right, so we hope that you're going to be one of those people this year, whether it's free from the comfort of your own home or the south of France, or whether you're going to be joining us live in the room. Whatever the case may be, we are delighted that you're going to take part in this, and I hope to see you there. I don't see many questions so far, so that's good. There's not much else to cover. Make it easy on you. Hopefully I inspired you all to get there. That was my real goal. And so even if it's just 1 or 2 of you, it's going to be well worth your time to give us the opportunity to change your life for you, okay? We'll see you guys soon. We'll see you at the event. Good luck out there, and we'll see you in Tampa or live on the airwaves, whichever it might be. See you soon, guys. Good luck.